How you doing, everybody? It's your health and fitness specialist, Kelly Brown. And today's topic is one that's kind of dear to my heart. So I'll get into the topic in a second, but let me give you the background preface on why I'm talking about this. So I put up a post the other day in my community section, and I was talking about being kind of irritated when I see somebody who is giving advice who doesn't look like they're credible enough to be giving advice, or they haven't had it, or maybe they're not credible enough to be giving advice, right? So today's topic is going to be about who to take advice from. And the reason it's so dear to my heart is because yes, it can relate to fitness, because you don't just want to be taking advice from anybody, but on one side, you can get great advice from the most unlikely person. So it doesn't always matter like what the person looks like, who you take advice from. And I think sometimes as well, it matters about at what stage that person is in their life for who they can actually give advice to. So if you're in the beginner stage, yeah, you can help somebody catch up to be a beginner like you, but at the same time, maybe the advice that they're giving isn't for you. So you don't need to be taking advice from that particular person because you might be a little bit further on than they actually are. All right, so in my past, when I was younger, I used to try and align myself with people who I thought could be good mentors for me, right? As far as people who could help me get in shape, or people who could help me in business, or with jobs and stuff like that. I would try and align myself with them because they had something that I wanted, which was experience, right? And so I ended up learning, not fast, but kind of down the line, that they weren't as they couldn't recreate what they had been through. So for example, if somebody told me, okay, yeah, I made $1 million and I had millions of dollars, blah blah blah, and I lost it all, or whatever, I would, when I was younger, I would be like, oh, for real, well, if you did it once, I know you can do it again. So let me stick close to this person because I know they know how to get money. And so let me see how he did it. Now, of course, I also know how you lost money, but at the same time, that's neither here nor there. The point we're working on is let me figure out how to get money with you, right? So I would align myself with people like that. And what I come to notice is that maybe they were kind of fluffing it more than they were actually explaining to me. Or it could have been that the time that they were in, the time period that they were in, that same stuff can't work in this new day and age. And so I was always off, and I was getting, great advice, but it wasn't something that I could actually apply to myself. Or I would be with this person, but me spending time with them was actually me wasting time, where I could have been looking at building something for the future rather than dwelling on how they did things in the past. And so now let's jump back to fitness, right? When I first started off, I aligned myself with trainers in the gym who had more knowledge than me, who were more, who already had the physique that I wanted, and I would work with multiple trainers because each one of them had something that I wanted, right? But keep in mind, I wouldn't go to the trainer who had, who had small legs and say, hey, can you teach me how to get big legs? It don't work like that. You go to the trainer that has big legs and say, hey, can you teach me how to get big legs? But you got to be careful, because the trainer that has the big legs, or who knows how to get big legs, may just have genetically gifted big ass legs and really didn't do much work to do that, And so you have to be careful who you're getting advice from, and see if they can actually recreate those experiences multiple times. And if they have a proven system, then yeah, take advice from that person, because that person is probably credible. But if you're talking about going online and you're looking up how to do X, Y, and Z, or how to build X, Y, and Z, and you look better than the person you're talking about, and you see that this person, if they're making videos or something like that, they got a history of, of not being able to do those same things for themselves, then maybe you need to question if you really want to take advice from that person. Because, some things worked better in the past, and maybe they were actually able to do things that were better for them in the past, but they may not be able to recreate those things and those experiences for you now in this day and age with this new technology or whatever it is, So in a nutshell, be careful of who you're taking advice from, because you can get great advice from the wrong person, but you can also get wrong advice from the person who you thought was the most credible source. Like I said, dude, you know, for my example with the dude with the great legs or the great calves or whatever like that, you know, but they're just genetics. So be careful about that and understand that, you know, I'm not here to discourage anybody from improving, because if you can get great advice from somebody who isn't, you know, who's unlikely, then hey, listen, apply it and do it for yourself. But just when you're on your journey, because I know I'm on my journey now, and I've taken, you know, I'm a whole Walmart full of advice from random people, you know, who I thought could help me get to where I was getting to, and I'm just now learning in this stage is that the advice that I've gotten has only wasn't necessarily helpful for what I needed, and I'm just now figuring out that I need a different type of advice and a different type of person to give me that advice. So think about that as well when you're going on your journey. Anyway, and don't forget to download your free ebook. The link is in the description below. I'll see you guys in the next video.